Paul, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, let's quickly look at the issue as regards these particular indices that has to do with Ghana's poverty level. Now, based on a 2023 estimate, around 2.99 million people out of a population of 34.237 million in Ghana live in extreme poverty. Now, the majority is said to be in the rural areas, with 2.8 million of them living on less than 24 Ghanaian cedis. That's approximately less than $2 a day, while over 200,000 extremely poor people are located in the urban areas. So how disturbing is this for you? And what do you make of the poverty index compared to a GDP of $227.189 billion as we know it?
I think these revelations are not particularly difficult to understand based on the fact that for the last couple of years, Ghana has experienced difficult economic challenges in terms of our growth, in terms of managing the economy, in terms of our currency, in terms of the inflationary level, which also even got to highest level because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and now some of the global instabilities happening in Ukraine, Russia, and now we have even the Middle East now. So obviously, it comes as no surprise to see that the poverty levels are rising in Ghana, because we've been through some difficult, economic challenges in the last couple of years. I mean, if we track the poverty reduction history of Ghana, we only were able to get to the highest level between 1991 and 2012 when we were able to have our poverty rate. From there on, it has been a journey of trying to reduce the poverty levels in the country, not to the highest that we experienced between 1991 and 20, but it has been improving. But then again, as I said, in the last couple of years, the economy has not been the same, and therefore we have experienced these higher levels of poverty in Ghana.
Yes, let me now take you on that, Paul. Some economists say that a figure of 2.99 million is rather descending, considering the fact that according to Statista, 3.501 million people were poor in 2016, 3.160 million of people were poor in 2021, and 3.104 million people were poor in 2022. But then the World Bank says it is rising, but from what we are seeing, it's a bit conflicting. So I'd like to find out from you, from where you stand, is it actually rising or decreasing, or it's at a marginal level? Because we also want to understand if the government has been rolling out policies that has been able to deal with the issue of the poverty index in the country. Maybe those policies or those measures or reforms have not been hitting the right bull in the eye. But then I'd like to find out from you what the truth is about the poverty index.
I mean, I believe that, we can speak to the current research report from the World Bank, which is given based on the work that they've done, indicating the numbers in terms of poverty reduction, of the country. Now, in Ghana, of course, the governments, over the years, we've had, a couple of strategies that are targeted at poverty reduction. And remember that even the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDG, the goal number one has always been about ending poverty in all shapes and forms. So for a country like Ghana, obviously, you can imagine that we've been trying to implement policies and programs that are geared towards poverty reduction. So in current case, we have what we call livelihood empowerment against poverty leap. The other programs that the government has implemented, in the past, for example, we had a Ghana Poverty Reduction Strategy, DPRS 1 and 2, that ended, and of course, we went on to the LEAP, which is currently the program that the government is running, and basically trying to identify the vulnerable people in society and trying to implement programs that are targeted at them to ensure that we can meet the poverty target that we set for ourselves. It has been on the rise, and like I said, if you track some of the economic happenings in Ghana in recent years, you will not be surprised that we are talking about an increase or a rise in poverty levels in the country. Of course, when we look at Ghana's economy, one would want to ask ourselves, how sustainable are some of the economic programs that we have, and how is the economy itself being structured to deal with the kind of poverty target that we are setting for ourselves. Again, in an economy like Ghana, we do not control most of the economic activities, right? So if you're running an economy that you don't control most of the economic activities, then you run the risk of any unstabilized, wind that blows can actually affect your programs and activities. So we had a situation where the Ghana's economy in recent times, because of COVID-19, everything that we've experienced was put on the tables of COVID-19, and then we shifted our attention because we saw the rise in inflationary figures in the country. We shifted it and put it on the doors of Russia-Ukraine war. So obviously, if we don't have access to control of the economy, you have that paradigm shift in control of economic activities. Obviously, meeting some of these, even though you
Paul,
try to implement, like you did mention,
hello, Paul.
will still be falling short.